Your knowledge of the field area is critical to the proper implementation of the livelihood planning process. During our case study, we travelled to villages near Lohardaga in Jharkhand. Primarily, you must have information about the demographic profile of your field area. In this area, we found that most of the population was tribal and a small portion was scheduled caste or Dalit. Make an assessment of the proportion of the population who can work. The general ability to work, skill sets, and time availability are important determinants. In our study, we found that a large number of families migrate to work in brick kilns across northern and eastern India. Understand the existing occupational pattern. In our field study, we found that people were mostly engaged in agriculture, small trading, and livestock rearing. Collect information on types of land. Find out the land-related information in terms of area under cultivation, average land holding per family, and percentage or number of landless families. Collect further information about drainage and forest cover. We found rice cultivation in areas where the land was sufficiently fertile and water available. Other areas comprising land of poorer quality were being used for hardier crops, like maize and millets. Examine the possibility of utilizing fallow land through land improvement and irrigation. Look at alternatives in crop selection. Assess the availability of water for irrigation. Take into account the amount of rainfall and other water resources available. Study the irrigation methods in use and look at possibilities of improvement. Determine the land distribution in terms of crop variety and the prevalence or possibility of crop rotation. In a typical example, we examine whether single cropping can be augmented by secondary cropping of a hardier variety. Forest cover and the availability of free land for grazing are critical determinants for sustainable livestock rearing. In our study in Jharkhand, we found some villagers kept cows and buffalo, while others reared goats. This called for an immediate assessment of ready availability of fodder. Trading, however basic, is prevalent throughout rural India. This qualifies trading as a realistic livelihood option, especially among the landless and the participants at the terminal end of the poverty spectrum. Here, the nature of the commodity needs to be carefully ascertained. Observe how, in our case study, we identify the production of puffed rice, muri, as a viable commodity of trade, with low investment, a good market, and even product improvement potential through value addition. The market is a critical component. The distance to the point of procurement and the sales area to be covered need to be factored in. A weekly market and proximity to nearby villages are positive contributors to a sustainable livelihood plan.